And thank you guys. You're such lovely people. I really appreciate that. And life is constant learning, you know. Okay, it's great that we can learn from our own experience as well. So I'm going to start sharing the screen so you guys can see the presentation that we have prepared for you. Just 1 second, and we're going to start. Thank you for being patient and listening to all these logistical little things. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to be talking today about the future and why resilience matters. And before we go there, we would like to introduce ourselves. So I'm gonna give the floor to Chuck.
Okay, so for those who don't know me, I'm Chuck Oxer, and I'm a small business consultant, and I support small business owners and their organizations to gain clarity on their vision and align and integrate best practices into their organizations. I'm bringing in 20 years of corporate management experience and 13 years of small business ownership. I had 10 employees, and I bring this experience, real life experience, to my clients and to this seminar, to this webinar. Miriam?
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. And I'm Maria Kolesnikoff. I'm life coach. I'm accredited with the International Coaching Federation. I'm doing coaching for more than 5 years, and I do have more than 20 years of human resources background in big corporations. So I bring that experience to my clients, and I help those who are unhappy or not satisfied with their work situation. It could be about the career, it could be about professional path, it could be about the relationship and communication and the performance, or even the salary. So I help people to see their strengths and come up with their success strategies so they can thrive and become happy with everything what they do. And again, thank you for joining us today. And we would like really quickly give you just a few seconds to introduce yourself. So if you may say your name and the service that you provide, that would be great. And then whatever you would like to share more about yourself and your maybe elevator pitch or whatever, please use the chat box so we can share that information later. So Marilee, I see you're ready.
My name is Marilee O'Brien, and I'm a real estate broker. And I've had my license since 2006. I've practiced in Missouri, California, and Washington, and I'm from Washington. And I do residential, commercial land. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have any fear. So I'll take on anything pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I enjoy helping people.
Yeah.
So that's what my motivation is.
Thank you so much. I would want to reach out to you later and have one-on-one if you're okay with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Heidi, it looks like you're ready.
Yes, I just pulled over so I could chat really quick. My name's Heidi Rickard. I own Nourish and Revive, and I have a holistic healthcare company. What I'm offering right now is I have rapid result at-home COVID antibody tests. So I think what I'm asking today is, how do you guys think I should market and sell those so people know that I have them available to the public? So that's my ask. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Anthony?
I was trying to unmute myself, yes. Anthony Upchurch with Legal Shield. We protect your rights as well as your identity, things that matter most to you. Right now, the current need is for people to get their wills either in place or updated. So if life happens and things change, they have the necessary documents in place to best care for themselves and their family. Again, Anthony Upchurch with Legal Shield.
Yeah, that was an elevator pitch. Thank you. Christina, would you like to say a couple of words about yourself?
I'm not really offering any services. I just signed up for mycomputercareer.com or .edu, and I'm just trying to build a positive network and grow myself. And my little brother killed himself 2 months after I signed for time. I actually just got out of prison, and I'm just trying to better myself, and I want to advocate for suicide prevention and the use of methamphetamines. And I'm just really trying to reach out to people who have a positive influence and that I can learn something from.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Well, good luck to you. That's an awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome goals.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for introducing yourself. Thank you for joining us, and we really hope that you're gonna get some value out of what we have to share with you. So I'm gonna continue sharing my screen, and thank you for nice pictures, comment. We appreciate that. Yeah, okay, so we would like to just talk for a couple minutes about why we have decided to do this webinar at the first place. So Chuck, over to you.
Yeah, we want to develop a conversation around these turbulent times we're in, especially around resilience and having resiliency, because the definition today we're going to use for resiliency is the capacity to recover from sudden negative events, which is what we've experienced here over the last couple of months. And so often business owners often tend to go it alone, and we want to encourage people to, reach out to their communities and develop a conversation so you don't go it alone. And we want to have people to keep a realistic perspective during these times, so you don't freak out, you don't have fear. We want to minimize the fear and make people realize you can't control everything. So we don't want victim mentality out there. We want people to build momentum and have confidence. That's why we're doing this, because these circumstances are only temporary.
Yeah, and I would also want to add to this that when you're experiencing any changes, there are certain questions that you ask yourself, and we do ask those questions to ourselves as well. And we do in this webinar also as an attempt to answer these questions to ourselves as well, because we are all in the same boat. We are all experiencing that. And these questions are, what are these changes? What exactly will change? What does it mean to me? How that will affect me? What can I do about that? And how can I get myself prepared to what's to come? These are the questions like where we are in that situation and how do we move forward? And these are the questions that we are trying to answer by doing this webinar, by also inviting you to contribute into conversation later after we share everything we have to do. Yeah, so first of all, before we go to the resilience, we would like to reflect a little bit on the what actually are the challenges that we are facing, and what exactly has changed and what will be changed in the future. We think what will change in the future as well. And we want to talk a little bit about that and embrace the change as well. So if we talk about what has changed already and what we are experiencing today at that particular moment, there are certain things there. First of all, we are all experiencing stay at home, stay safe order that holds us at home. But at the same time, we have great opportunity to get connected to our family, to get connected to our beloved ones, to spend more time with our children and enjoy that time. together that we have not had a chance to have before. And we might recognize that we're showing up a little bit differently, and our beloved ones as well. So that's a challenge too, because we're not used to that. At the same time, we are asked to keep a distance. And although for introverts, that's a very cool thing to do, but for extroverts, I bet they're missing hugs, and they're missing emotions, they're missing hanging around people. And I'd say that for extroverts, that's a living hell, honestly. And my heart goes to them, as I'm an introvert. And also, I bet you all have asked yourself, what day over the week is it today? Because as the time goes by, as day goes after day after day, and they're all repeating themselves because we are sitting at home, it actually gets harder to stay connected to reality because we are losing that sense. So how do we stay connected to that? How do we stay grounded? That's another question that pops up. And unfortunately, people losing jobs and businesses are closing, but at the same time, the same exact things, they are opening another opportunities for these people. And look at what's happening to Zoom, for example. It's thriving. Look at the other companies that were able to go online and they were able to utilize that. Look at the delivery industry, how it changes, you know. So although there are some certain unfortunate things that come together with the regime and quarantine that we're in, at the same time, it opens up an opportunities. It makes us do something new or something different that we have not done before. Chuck, over to you.
Okay. Well, then, as we look forward into tomorrow from the present, we do think that working remotely will remain a staple going forward. We think you'll see more and more of it. As I think I read, Twitter is going to have all their employees work remotely for the next 6 to 12 months. So I think we're going to see more of these type of companies really having their workers work remotely more than ever. I think a lot of companies have talked about it. Now they've been able to have the courage to step over that threshold and really do it. So I think we're going to see a lot more of it, and it'll be more permanent. And I think that when we see this, meetings are going to be held more virtually, I think, in the future. I think there won't be as many in-person meetings as there have been in the past. I think as a year or two goes by, it'll probably fade. We'll start having more in person, but I think the virtual meeting will not go away, because I think I live a ways away from Seattle, but the one thing I'm not missing is the commute. So I know that I'm saving an hour each way every day I have a virtual meeting. So that I'm not going to likely give up, and I bet you a lot of other people won't either. So I think that we're going to be needing to meet customer needs faster, better, and more distinctly going forward. And that collaborating with others is going to be a requirement going forward. Because I think people are going to learn here that if you collaborate and form teams, decisions and innovation happen quicker. So, and I think we're going to have to rethink the ease of our customer connections and communications. If we think we're good at it now, I think we're all going to have to get a lot better going forward, just to get through the maze and through the amount of noise that's out there now on the internet. And people are being distracted by the internet as opposed to where we used to focus on the in-person meetings. So I think that's going to be something new. And we're going to have to add value to our current offerings and services. I think we're going to have to up our game on this and get innovative and think about what we can do so that people will pay attention to us going forward. Because as we see, so many people are now flooding the internet, flooding Facebook with virtual opportunities. So now the field is getting crowded. And Zoom, for instance, in January, they had 10 million users, and in April, they had 300 million. So that's a telling tale right there. And also, we're going to have to be sensitive that we're going into an era where people are going to, and businesses are going to have cash flow reduction for the near term. So we're going to have to be sensitive, maybe how we price or offer or what we give to people in the near term. And so I think it's going to be important also as part of the ease of communication is that we should develop an online list of clients. And I think that's going to be more important than ever. And I know I've been remiss in this and not done a good job, but it's moved to a much higher priority because we have to find ways to engage our clients and engage our markets. So that's what I think is we need to be thinking about moving forward.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. And yeah, and we do think so. We have spoken about the challenges today and tomorrow, and like what's okay. I guess everybody would agree that they're existing, but what are you going to do about that? And here, what we would like to share with you is that we think that the resilience is the answer that will help us prepare to what to come. And actually, you will be surprised, but a lot of corporations have the resilience as one of the most important competencies that they think each leader should have, because this is something that will help them to be effective facing any changes, facing any uncertainty that's to come. And if we talk about the resilience, what it is, it's actually an ability to stay focused on the goal and bounce back from adversities. And it's kind of an ability, or it's the process that helps you, instead of getting distracted by the stress and the trouble and the change. It's a process of how you align with your support and how you leverage your resources so you're still able in all this turbulent time to achieve the goals that you're looking at that you would like to achieve. And resilience is about adaptability. It's about your healthy relationship with the control. It's also about the continuing learning and reflecting on the experience and making lessons out of everything that you have come through. Resilience is about having a purpose and sticking to that purpose. And it's about how you get the support and how you can use the resources that are available to you. So you are able to stay protected from the overwhelming circumstances, that you're balanced during the stress, and that you're handle all the difficulties that you're facing. That's what resilience is about. And why we think it's important, why we think it's timely, I can say for myself, from my coaching practice, these are the questions that nowadays my clients are asking. How do we get connected to the reality? How we survive the change? How we get prepared to whatever is coming? And as we go through these coaching sessions, the answer is the resilience. They may not name it this way, but they come up with a action plan that actually includes everything that I have just talked about. Chuck, do you have anything to add here?
Well, no, I think you covered it really well. We just want to make sure that we want people to maintain the balance in their lives, and we don't want people dwelling on failure or the potential for failure. Just acknowledge the situation for what it is. And the more you practice this, the better muscle you build with resiliency, because resiliency is a process, and you can build your muscle in the area. The more you are self-aware of resilience, the more you're going to develop it, and the more to become part of your everyday life.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck, for adding. And yeah, so we have shared some general information saying, okay, guys, you need to be resilient. Okay, that's something challenging as well. But how, you probably are asking yourself, okay, that's good, but how do I do that? What actual and particular actions are there so you can acknowledge that you are in the resilient. And this is what we're going to talk further about. Chuck, over to you.
Yeah, okay. So as I said, building resilience is a process. So it's not something you have to kind of invent, or it's not something you're necessarily born with. So it's a process by which you build a muscle, you get better at it, and you get more aware of being resilient. So as we said, it's the capacity to recover from sudden negative events. So you're building a capacity to withstand these type of events. Because that's the only way really you can have success in the future. You can't become a victim. So we have 5 areas that we would like you to think about in building resilience. Is 1, realize you cannot control everything. You know, imperfect action is better than no action at all. So we want you to not become frozen or paralyzed. We want you to be able to adapt quickly and not lean so much on people's opinions, but rely on facts and create clarity on your purpose and increase your capacity to respond to these situations. So in resiliency is a process about the courage to move ahead quickly and embrace change. So,
yeah, and talking about the control, it is very important to distinguish the things that you can control and that the things you cannot control. Because you cannot control weather, you cannot control economical crisis, you cannot control environment around you, you cannot control others, and you cannot control change overall. But what can you control? You can control yourself, you can control what you think, you can control your emotions, your decisions, and your actions. And when you focus on the things that you can control, this is what makes you connected to the reality. This is what makes you grounded. This is what gives you the sense of reality. So think of the things that you can control. Chuck.
okay, so a second area we'd like you to think about is completing a SWOT analysis. And that's your strengths, weaknesses, and threats to your current situation. And while this sounds maybe counterintuitive, it's about developing a worst case scenario for your current situations. It's discovering what that is. Because if you really look at your worst case scenario, it diminishes you being blindsided by new events along with the current events. And this, if you do this and you get familiar with what your worst case scenario is, this reduces fear by confronting the reality of your current situation. So it should really diminish your fear and reduce your being potentially blindsided by being over optimistic. And this does sound counterintuitive, but if you look at your worst case scenario, then you kind of look death in the eye, so to speak, because now you're examining what possibly could happen and what can you possibly do about it. It's really important to do this. And I know it can sound depressing, but actually it should ease your tension and ease your stress, because now you know what the worst case scenario that could happen and what you can do about it. Right?
Yeah, and it is important to deal with your fears in that way, because fear is an emotion. And when you're in emotional state, it's really hard to be constructive. And when you put down your fears, they stay on the paper and you get free out of them, and then you can concentrate, because through going through that process, you're releasing them and they're not stuck in your head anymore. This is a great relief to write them down. So do that. That's going to really help you to be rational and to be constructive, not to be afraid. Chuck.
Yeah. So when you've done this SWOT analysis, it actually it should give you an open mindset about where the opportunities could lie to build a road, a path to success. So a third area we want you to think about is write actionable goals. And these goals should be really actual, action-oriented, things that you can do now, in next week, in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, so that you start building this momentum towards success. And you want to focus on your strengths of you and your business, and get out in front of the events and not lag behind, because if you lag behind the events, you'll be chasing the events, wasting a lot of time and energy chasing the events. So it's about taking control of your current situation and moving forward, building your own success. And in doing this, you should look for the highest rate of return. What can you get done now that will start positively impacting your current situation? So you look for the areas of highest return in doing this. And we like to recommend that people use SMART goal process. And SMART goal processes are specific goals, measurable goals, attainable goals, and relevant goals to your current situation, and timely goals. Because you want to create a roadmap for where your successes lie. What is it that you want? Not what exists today, but what do you want? And move away from what exists today. So,
yeah, and it's important then you do that. It's important that you keep in mind the purpose and the ultimate goal that you're trying to achieve, no matter the uncertainty, no matter of the fears, no matter of the changes. But when you do the action plan, you need to actually focus on the things that you can control, because that depends on you. Anything else, the acceptance is the only way. Because like, what do you do about the rain? You can either take the umbrella or accept that. That's the same thing. When you do the action plan, think about the things that you can control. Okay, going further, Chuck.
Okay, so the fourth area we'd like you to consider is collaborating with other people and businesses. I think this is a time to think big. It's time to think about rebuilding relationships maybe that you've not nurtured as well over the last few years. Rethink your business alliances, people who you are connected with in business, and leverage all your resources, everything that you've got, like partnerships, vendors, any teams that you have, current alliances, so leverage those things, reach out to these people, because entrepreneurs and small business owners tend to go it alone. And I think now's the time to collaborate. And because I believe, and we believe, Maria and I, that teams move faster and go it alone, and they're more innovative than sitting there thinking by yourself in your office or wherever, or your remote location today, and really put together teams, serious people who can really add to your situation, add value to what you do, because certainly you can add value to them if you reach out. And I think you could be surprised how receptive people are, especially people you think, well, they're my competitors. Well, they may not be your competitors in the future. So you may need to form an alliance with them, because you're going to have strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to have strengths and weaknesses. And if you collaborate, you have a stronger opportunity to be in business going forward.
Yeah. And you know what? I always remember there was one guy who told me and my husband when we just came to United States, and we obviously came to chase the American dream. And he said, you cannot become a millionaire alone. You need a team. It feels like now it's a good time to build that team. And look at us, look at me and Chuck. We're a living example of what we're saying. It's like we pray what we preach. We have met, we found the common ground, we realized we can complement each other in the things that we do. And we have come up with this webinar, and we do have other plans to continue our partnership, which is great. And when you think about the team, nobody's perfect. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. But with the team, you can have a synergy. You can have somebody who can cover your back, and who can cover, to whom your weakness would be a strength. So this is how you become stronger than anybody who is doing anything alone. Chuck.
Yeah, so going to the fifth and last area that we'd like you to consider here is overthinking issues, because that's a barrier to action. And it's actually the opposite of action, because you don't want to sit here and as we said, with entrepreneurs and small business owners, they want to go it alone. Well, then you have a tendency to overthink, because often you're sitting there thinking and thinking, especially, as we know, in the middle of the night, and we're just overthink things, and so it leads to excessive concerns, it leads to anxiety, it leads to fear and inability to confront our negative current situations. So it consumes valuable energy and time that we need to use on problem solving. So we got to clear all this negativity out of the way. So overthinking is a problem. So to me, it's better, like we said earlier, create a plan, do the SWOT analysis, look at your worst case scenarios, because that will lead you into opportunities, which will create goals and lead you in a direction that will lead you into success. And overthinking this is not going to get you anywhere. It's gonna just stall you, and you don't need that right now. We need to move forward. We need to quickly. We need to adapt and embrace change.
Yeah, and positive mindset, it's not about you wearing pink glasses. It's about you having a fair and brutal evaluation of everything that's happening, and choosing to focus on the opportunities. And the opportunities come to those who are open to accept them. And they come unexpectedly, but you have to be in this open mindset that you're ready to invite them, and that's what's going to happen. It's like when you get rid of your fears doing this analysis, you actually will have a free space that opportunities can take. And this is you showing the universe that, okay, I'm here, I'm ready, bring it on. Give it to me.
Yeah.
And when you're in that mode, in that mindset, you will be able to recognize that, okay, the opportunity is in front of your nose.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so for you to know, we do have our contacts here, and you will be able to reach out to us and have those contacts when we share the presentation. And yeah, we have said what we have prepared for you, and now we are open for the conversation, and we're really interested to know and to learn what stood out for you. What questions do you have? What questions have you asked you have not asked before but now is asking? So
Are
yeah,
any comments or thoughts?
yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your impressions? What are you thinking right now, Anthony?
Oh, did Christina want to say something? I think she got muted.
um I think she probably have not stable connection, so I can see she's
Oh,
going back and forth.
Okay.
Christina, are you there? No, maybe not.
The thing that stood out to me was, as far as the goal setting, the acronym. I like that. SMART.
Mhm.
Being specific, because I mean, we've all set goals, whether it's short term, long term, and um, as far as setting goals, when you talk about that, um, how much time frame should you give yourself to consider that as a short term versus a long term goal? You thinking short term like 3 months, or what do you consider like a short term goal?
Well, it used to be 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Now, I would say a good short-term SMART goal would be something. What can you do tomorrow? What can you do today, actually? What can you do tomorrow, next week? Because the time frame here is short. Because either we're most of us are an ability not to be able to conduct business easily. So what are you going to do? So to me, long term now is probably 3 to 6 months, and short term is the next weeks, because you need to the people who plan and execute now will be the ones who are going to be best at navigating the situation and coming out stronger. Because now's the time to innovate. So you need to take action with short-term goals so that you can try them out. Because not every goal will be successful as written. So you're going to have to adapt. So the sooner you get on with it and get the goals and start executing them, the sooner you're going to realize whether they're working or not, or do you have to adapt.
And that was the other part of the conversation. I mean, the other part of the question. When you say adapt, and I was thinking to revisit or readdress, because when you're talking about setting real goals, sometimes you have to go back and say, okay, I thought that was going to take me X amount of time, but now I see I either got to do some self-development, or I got to do I got to adopt some new skills in order to actually accomplish that goal. So that was the reason why I was asking that, because I know at some point, some people, including myself, will get caught up in, I have to attain this goal, but then we get distracted and find out that it's like other things need to take place in order for me to attain that goal. But I'm so focused on attaining this goal, and then you get frustrated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's why the SMART goal process is important, because in that process you do that.
Gotcha.
But I also want to add, it feels like right now it's the best time to be agile. And if you know how agile process works, is that you don't have like very detailed goal. You have kind of a vision of a goal, and then you have a checkpoints that you check in every week, how you're moving forward and what you need to continue doing, and what you need to stop doing, and what you need to add in order to kind of move in the right direction to that vision that you have created. And it feels like right now, with everything that is changing all the time, this is something that we have to take into consideration daily. Like, you know, that change, that change, that change. What does it mean to me? How does it, is it moving me forward to what I'm trying to accomplish? Or is it dragging me down, backwards? You know, like what should I continue doing? What should I stop doing? But the goal is it should be there, at least maybe not in a very detailed, but at least you have to have some kind of a vision there.
Okay.
Marilee, you had a question or a comment.
More so a comment, I think. I've been fortunate through this. I've been very, very fortunate. I've worked through this whole thing, and because I'm essential with the real estate, but I've been actually pretty busy. And I started going social media heavy. But it wasn't, I didn't go advertising. I went, what do you need from me? So, and I started every day doing just kind of like positive posts on Facebook. And so I took this time to clean up my contacts and also start posting positive Facebook posts, positive stories, posting, I'm going to the store today. Does anybody need anything? I downloaded an app called Hit 'em Up, and you can send text messages through it, through everybody in your group. I don't know if you guys have heard of that app. It's free, but you can send a text message to everybody in your contacts, but it goes to them one at a time. And so I do that a lot. So I just started managing my contact and taking this time to manage my personal business and my contacts, reaching out to old clients and taking care of the ones I have. And I guess just not really asking for business, though, not during this time. That's what I've been doing.
It seems like you're already implementing some of the recommendations that we had.
Yeah.
But definitely developing positive mindset.
Yes.
And helping others to do so as well.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Marilee. Yeah, it's interesting to hear what Heidi and Cindy and Christina have to say and think. What are you thinking? Does it resonate with you what we're talking about? Do you find that helpful? Ladies?
I think it's really important. I think it can be a very difficult time for people right now. And I think you should find groups like this. It's important to have a purpose. And also remember that we are all, what did somebody say? We're really not in the same boat, but we're in the same body of water. You know, and I do believe that the United States government does have to take care of all of us. It's not like that thing that happened in 2008 that was really isolated to certain groups. This is everybody. So try not to get too upset about your financial situation or your business. I think we're all going to be taken care of. You know, reach out to people, try to find a purpose, set little goals for your own self. And that's, you know, even health wise. Maybe, you know, make sure you just get dressed every day. Step outside at least once a day. Call somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I make an appointment to reach out to somebody that I do know is an introvert. I'm an introvert, so I absolutely love this. It's perfect. I have no problem. You know, yeah, just find a purpose, reach out to others, know it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
I loved your comment about dressing up because I was at a different it was at some networking meeting, and like somebody suggested, okay, let's stand up and see who wears what on the on the bottom.
Yeah, I posted something the other day. If you get a stain on your shirt, A, B, C, D, do you leave it? What do you do? It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Just to get people engaged too.
Yes.
yeah,
Get everybody engaged. And then I do throw a few things in there about my business because it is a good time to, think about the future for real estate. And it's a really good time for people who are essential to buy right now. It's a quiet market. It's a very good time for investors.
yeah,
So, there is things going on, and there's, still people out there who need to be supported too, you know.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's the only thing here, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say maybe frustrating, but it kind of makes you think, like why are we divided into essential and non-essential? It feels like everybody is essential. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves to be taken care of. So I know last time we were talking about, there was a comment about it's really not very nice to use the word social distance because it's not about social
Mhm.
distance, it's about physical distance. It's maybe also a good comment to think that we all are essential, we all are unique, and we all deserve the same approach. So we do understand, of course, there are needs and there are like physical needs that the businesses that are open that they're taking care of, but there are also other needs that other businesses can help with. But everything is essential, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think them saying the real estate world is essential is kind of BS. I
But
mean,
it's important to people, though. It's still important to people.
Yeah.
there are some states where it is completely shut down, but yeah, I mean, I really was trying to figure out why. What's the political reason for this? We do have very good lawyers here in Washington State. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, people do, there has been a lot of really weird properties come for sale for sure. So estates, people have passed away. Um, and people move. I had a military guy call today, just panicked, absolutely panicked from out of state moving in, because of the military in 2 weeks. And he's like, I don't have anything,
Yeah.
you know? So,
So yeah, it's hard to determine what's essential. Like
Yeah.
right now, I sure like to have a hair salon open.
It is essential, isn't it?
It is
that's
essential.
so weird.
Maybe I didn't think
Yeah.
that way before, but I'm sure thinking that way now.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
why?
guys.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
just a couple minutes left, so we're able to wrap up our conversation. I know Chuck has some good ideas to share, and then we are really curious about what's your key takeaway from today's conversation. So Chuck, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so to kind of give a kind of general summary here, we'd like you to take away, or at least think later after we leave this webinar, is please take action, do not procrastinate. Those that plan and act now will be the biggest winners when this business environment, stabilizes and starts returning back to normal. And those that don't sugarcoat the present and complete brutal reality checks of their current situation and develop strong plans and execute them, we'll be in the strongest position to navigate these turbulent times and be in the best position to take advantage of a recovering economy. So, wise business owners learn to collaborate and not go it alone.
Hmm.
They build teams as they begin to realize that the teams will make better decisions and move more quickly than going it alone. And we want you to leave you with that. So we want you to engage, and we want you to create momentum for yourself and those around you. So if nothing else, please think of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, thank you. So, guys and ladies, please leave your email so we're able to share the presentation with you. Don't forget about that. And also, we would appreciate your feedback, and maybe you can go back to the event description and leave a comments on what are your key takeaways. What have you learned today? What would you recommend? Why would you recommend other people to come and join and listen to our conversation? We would really appreciate that. We would really appreciate your support and your partnership on that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, any final thoughts before we close? Heidi, have you been able to get some ideas on the question that you were asking at the beginning?
No?
Let me try to, can you hear me? I'm still driving. I apologize.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. I love the idea of teaming up. I'm going to have to team up just because I have a large amount of test kits that I need to get out, and I don't have a big enough contact list. But if I do pair up with other people, then we can serve more people at this time. So I love that because I love the smart goals. So making sure I set a realistic goal and then check in on it. And then lastly, I was really loving the encouragement for resilience, because you do think that resilience is something you're just born with. Oh, that person's so resilient. But as Chuck was saying, that's not really true. You can grow resilience, and this is the time to practice that every single day. And once again, if you don't make it that day, you got a little sad or depressed, hey, there's always tomorrow. So that is building resilience and not getting down on yourself, not focusing on the negative. So I'm so appreciative that you two are sharing all your insights and your encouragement. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other last word that you would like to share, guys, ladies?
I would share her what is it, home testing thing. If I can get some more information, I'll share that on social media. I think that's really interesting.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna share the notes from the chat box, so you will have your emails, so you can reach out to each other and see maybe today a new partnership has been born.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It was a pleasure to see you all. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to listen what you have and what you have to share. And yeah, we would appreciate your support and your comments on our event. And I'll make a post later today on the Facebook page, so if you can comment on there as well, we would appreciate that. So let's help each other to grow. Let's help us to bring that important information to more people, so they all feel encouraged like Heidi and grow their resilience.
Yes.
Yeah, with that being said, again, thank you so much and have a great evening. And we hope to see you at our other events that we'll be posting later.
And everybody, please
Thank you.
stay safe and healthy and be prudent.
Thank you.
Be resilient.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good evening.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.